There is no universal loss hierarchy, neighbor. Let me repeat that. There is no universal loss hierarchy. What does that mean and why is it important? What it means is that we tend to, as a human species, we tend to think of the human death as the ultimate loss. When we think of loss or grief, many people that I've encountered over the last 36 years that I have been working in and around and studying loss, grief, and healing, many people automatically go to death, the death of a human. There are so many more types of life experiences that can stimulate grief and that are losses. One of the things that we tend to do as humans is we tend to rank this particular loss is worse than this one when we are navigating them. I've experienced this over and over again. As someone who has experienced the death of a child, I was introduced to that expression, child loss is the worst loss. What I can tell you in the 36 years, again, that I have been studying loss, grief, and healing and understanding human potential, what I have realized is that I've heard time and time and time again, people say, it's the worst, it's the worst, it's the worst. What it means is we have our own hierarchy of loss based on our experiences. We never know what life has to offer us. What we basically do is we claim the worst based on our experiences or on how we anticipate we will experience something if it were to show up in our life. We claim that for ourselves. One of the things that I encourage and I invite people to do is to recognize that our language and how we perceive and interpret a situation does directly correlate to how we navigate it and experience it. One, and how we heal it ultimately, how we move through it to achieve what I call our next level potential, whether that is healing a heartache, whether it is healing some physical condition, healing our relationships, evolving into an entrepreneur, switching careers, whatever you are navigating and moving towards what I call your next level potential in any area of your life, the academic, emotional, physical, social, or spiritual side of yourself. We are constantly learning, growing, and evolving. When we can be mindful of our language, going back to how we can set ourselves up for failure is, for those of you who know my story, I had a 6-year, 10-month string of significant life loss events that started with my son Gavin's death following unexpected delivery complications. That period of time ended with me discovering that my husband and my best friend were having an affair 6 weeks before my youngest child was born. Now, I had already been told that child loss is the worst loss. As I was navigating that infidelity, those feelings of betrayal, hurt, confusion, one of the things that started to happen for me, which I have seen over and over again in the thousands of people I've had conversations with, is I started thinking there was something wrong with me. I speak about this often. What happened is I had been told that I had experienced the worst possible loss. I believed that. I adopted it as truth, which subconsciously then led me to believe that anything else in life would be a cake or a walk in the park, a cakewalk or a walk in the park. What happened is I started questioning why I was struggling so much with this affair that felt as significant as the death of my son. So I started subconsciously feeling, why am I crying over spilt milk? That thought process actually delayed and impeded any healing or progress that I had until I was able to recognize that this was its own loss, separate from anything else. Understanding what that betrayal is, how I received it, how many people would, across my entire being. The relationship breakdown, the trust in people, the spiritual aspect of, I was questioning God for a while. Why is this happening? I felt like internally I might have been being punished. I had to heal and resolve all of that conflict. I bring this up right now around Mother's Day because there are millions of people who are experiencing some conflict or struggle around this day. It's a day promoted as celebration, celebrating the mothers and mother figures in our lives for countless people who are not part of any conversation that I'm aware of up until the one that I've been doing for over 12 years is helping people to be seen and recognized in all different classes. It's what I call a mother's heart, someone who wants a child or wants to have a solid relationship with their child. For whatever reason, that mother's heart is not being fulfilled, whether it's infertility, miscarriage, child loss, estrangement from your children. The list goes on and on. For some reason, you're not able to have that relationship, motherhood, parenthood relationship that you envisioned and wanted. There are those categories. We do hear about moms whose children have died. That's very common. These others are more subtle and nuanced. They can be as equally impactful and significant in the conflict and the grief as the death of a child. We have those who are recognized of my mother died. Yet millions of people, either they're in estrangement from their mother by choice or their mother has estranged from them. The children want that relationship. Maybe the mother is ill, emotionally unavailable. There's complex relationships. Maybe in adoption, I've encountered people who, though they feel loved and supported in their adopted family and have everything that they could want in a family, there's a longing to understand what I call their biological bloodlines. Insert your whatever, missing your mom or your mother figure shows up in so many ways. There are also the situations where is an empty nest is also part of that. There are these other rarely talked about publicly that I'm aware of, these situations where mothers are feeling overworked, overtired. What they really want on Mother's Day is not just one more thing to do, just a day alone, a day to themselves. Yet they feel selfish, they feel guilty for wanting that on a day that is meant to recognize and celebrate them. There's a whole host of other people that fall under this category too. I have a post that I've shared. Feel free to check it out. It's on What's on Your Mother's Day Heart. I guarantee you, everybody who has read this, they see themselves either now or a former version of themselves in one of these examples. I invite you to know and to remember there is no universal hierarchy to loss. If you are struggling around this day, know that you're not alone, as cliche as it sounds. There are others who can relate and have empathy and understanding to whatever you are experiencing. Till next time, and as always, I see you, I feel you. Most importantly, neighbor, I believe in you and your ability to heal whatever conflict or grief you have, whatever is standing between you and your next level potential of what you want to achieve and experience in your life. Take care.